As men enter middle age and beyond, their bodies begin to reveal a range of changes, some obvious, others so subtle that only the most observant might notice. Many have asked themselves, are these just normal signs of aging, or do they signal something deeper? The answer is both. The human body, much like a finely tuned machine, follows the uncompromising laws of time, leaving behind markers that no one can escape. In this exploration, there are four key signs every man should be aware of. One related to changes in body scent, two involving noticeable growth in certain areas, and one reflecting gradual shrinking where few expect it. Some of these changes unfold slowly over the years, while others may catch a man by surprise one morning when he looks in the mirror. Understanding these signs isn't about fear, it's about preparation. It's about taking charge of one's health, maintaining strength, and carrying dignity through the passing years. Let's delve into each of these signs to better understand the journey your body is undertaking. 1. The unmistakable smell of aging. One of the earliest and often overlooked signs of aging in men comes not from what is seen, but from what is sensed, a subtle change in body odor. This isn't about poor hygiene or the wrong choice of cologne. It runs much deeper, rooted at the cellular level. As men grow older, the skin undergoes biochemical changes that trigger the production of a compound called 2-nonenal. While odorless to some, it carries a distinct scent to others, a smell often described as grassy, waxy, or faintly stale. Unlike typical body odors caused by bacteria breaking down sweat, 2-nonenal bonds stubbornly to skin and fabrics, making it much harder to wash away with conventional soaps. Younger skin regenerates quickly, shedding oxidized oils and minimizing the buildup of such compounds. Aging skin, however, retains more oxidized fatty acids, allowing this scent to gradually become more pronounced over time. Consider Richard, a 74-year-old retired engineer. He began noticing that even freshly laundered shirts seemed to hold on to a persistent smell. His granddaughter once told him, "Grandpa, you smell like books and wood." A surprisingly common way people describe the scent associated with 2-nonenal. Initially, Richard blamed his cologne or his detergent, but after switching products without any change, he realized the scent was coming from his skin itself. Research shows that people over the age of 40 begin producing small amounts of 2-nonenal. By their 70s, however, the scent becomes much more noticeable. The good news is that while you cannot completely stop the body from producing 2-nonenal, you can manage its buildup. Use specialized soaps designed to target excess oils and oxidized compounds. Incorporate antioxidant-rich foods into your diet, such as green tea, citrus fruits, and leafy greens, to help reduce oxidative stress. Wash clothing with baking soda or use odor-neutralizing sprays specifically formulated for aging skin. If you've ever wondered why your scent seems different as the years go by, now you know. It's not your imagination, and it's not about personal cleanliness. It's a natural biological part of the aging process, one that every man experiences in time. 2. A bigger belly that won't budge. Another unmistakable sign of aging in men appears right at the center of the body, a growing belly that seems resistant to diet and exercise. While it's easy to blame it on eating habits or reduced physical activity, the truth runs much deeper, rooted in the natural shifts of metabolism and hormones over time. As men age, metabolism naturally slows down. Simultaneously, testosterone levels decline, leading to a gradual loss of lean muscle mass. Muscle tissue is metabolically active. It burns calories even at rest. As muscle mass decreases, the body's ability to burn calories diminishes, causing excess calories to be stored more readily as fat, especially around the abdomen. This change often sneaks up quietly. A man might continue eating and exercising the same way he did in his 40s or 50s, yet notice that his waistline keeps expanding year after year. Take Frank, a 76-year-old who had always been lean in his younger years. Even though his diet remained relatively unchanged, he found that his midsection began protruding noticeably, while his arms and legs appeared thinner. At first, he chalked it up to normal aging. What he didn't realize was that fat was redistributing to his abdomen, while muscle mass was quietly declining elsewhere. The issue isn't merely cosmetic. Abdominal fat, especially visceral fat stored deep inside the abdomen, has serious health implications. It is metabolically active, releasing inflammatory chemicals that increase the risk of heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and even cognitive decline. Studies have shown that men with greater abdominal fat in their 70s and 80s often experience higher rates of fatigue, joint pain, sleep disturbances, and a general decline in mobility and quality of life. Fortunately, there are effective ways to address this issue. Incorporate resistance training into your routine to preserve and rebuild muscle mass. Prioritize protein intake to support muscle maintenance and improve satiety. Reduce processed carbohydrates and added sugars to help stabilize insulin levels and limit further fat accumulation. While gaining some belly fat is a natural part of aging, letting it grow unchecked can have serious consequences. Recognizing this change early allows men to take proactive steps, supporting both their physical health and their sense of confidence as they move through the years. 3. The mystery of growing ears. Among the more curious and often surprising signs of aging is the steady growth of a man's ears. Unlike muscles that shrink or skin that wrinkles, ears continue to grow subtly but steadily throughout life. The primary reason lies in the structure of the ears themselves. Made mostly of cartilage, a flexible, resilient tissue, ears do not stop growing after maturity. In addition, the force of gravity over the decades gradually pulls the ears downward, stretching both the cartilage and the skin, making the ears appear even larger and longer. Many men first notice this change when comparing recent photos with old ones. What once seemed like a proportionate feature now appears more prominent. Consider George, a 78-year-old retired teacher. Looking through his wedding photos, he was startled to realize how much his ears had changed over the years. They weren't only larger, they appeared longer, with his once rounded earlobes now thinner and stretched. Scientific studies confirm this phenomenon. Ears grow by approximately 0.08 inches, about 2 millimeters, per decade. Though the change is gradual year to year, over several decades, it becomes unmistakable. While growing ears do not pose a health risk, they can affect self-image for some men. Fortunately, while cartilage growth cannot be entirely stopped, certain measures may help slow the visible effects. Stay hydrated to maintain skin elasticity. Eat collagen-boosting foods like bone broth, berries, and leafy greens. Protect the skin from excessive sun exposure to prevent further breakdown of collagen and elastin. Additionally, moisturizing the ears regularly with vitamin-rich skincare products can help keep the skin supple, reducing the appearance of sagging. In the grand scheme of aging, enlarging ears are simply another chapter, a subtle, natural marker of the years lived, the stories told, and the experiences earned. They are not something to fear, but something to understand and ultimately to accept with grace. 4. The disappearing calves. One of the most overlooked but impactful changes in an aging man's body occurs in the lower legs, specifically the calves. Over time, many men notice that their calves lose size, definition, and strength, even if their weight remains stable. This phenomenon, known as muscle atrophy, is primarily driven by three interconnected factors: declining hormone levels, particularly testosterone and growth hormone, reduce the body's ability to maintain and rebuild muscle. Reduced physical activity, often subtle and unintentional, leads to less stimulation of calf muscles, especially when running, jumping, or heavy lifting becomes less frequent. Changes in circulation, common with age, decrease blood flow to the lower extremities, further contributing to muscle weakening. Robert, a 75-year-old who spent most of his career on his feet, serves as a clear example. In his youth, his calves were strong and well-defined. Yet in his late 60s, he noticed they were becoming thinner and less firm. Climbing stairs, rising from a chair, and even maintaining balance began to feel noticeably harder. It wasn't just aging, it was a physical sign that his muscles were gradually shrinking. Losing calf muscle isn't merely a cosmetic concern. Weaker calves can severely impact balance, increase the risk of falls, and lead to slower walking speeds, all of which can affect independence and quality of life in later years. Fortunately, there are powerful ways to fight back. Perform targeted exercises like calf raises, resistance band training, and incline walking to actively stimulate the calf muscles. Prioritize adequate protein intake to support muscle maintenance and recovery. Stay consistent with lower body strength training, even simple bodyweight exercises, to maintain both muscle mass and circulation. Recognizing shrinking calves early provides an opportunity to take action. Rebuilding strength in the lower body is not just about aesthetics. It's about preserving mobility, stability, and overall vitality for years to come. Now that the 4 subtle but telling signs of aging in men have been uncovered, it is time to reflect. How many of these changes have you noticed in yourself or in the men around you? Aging is not an enemy to fight against. It is a natural, inevitable journey. Every shift, every line, every change in the body tells a story of resilience, experience, and a life fully lived. Understanding these changes empowers men to care for themselves more wisely and to face the passing of time with strength rather than fear. Small, deliberate actions, staying active to preserve muscle mass, paying attention to skin health, adjusting nutrition to match the body's evolving needs, can have a profound impact. They are not just routines. They are acts of respect for the vessel that carries a man through his lifetime. Rather than mourning what changes, it is far more powerful to embrace what endures: the spirit, the wisdom, and the ability to adapt. So what stood out to you the most? Have you noticed these signs in yourself or someone you know? If so, take it not as a cause for alarm, but as a call to invest more deeply in your own well-being. In the end, aging is not simply about growing older. It is about growing stronger in the ways that truly matter. Take care of your body, honor your journey, and walk forward with pride into each new chapter.